Did you know Manchester, where I come from, has the biggest university campus in Europe? Apparently so, because there are two universities that join together and it's now the biggest campus in Europe, I've heard. And also, did you know Manchester has one of the most famous football clubs in the world? Yes, not Oldham, Manchester United, and also Manchester City, actually. So I'm talking about the town I come from, but I'm also talking about superlatives. So in the last video, we looked at comparing two things. When we compare three or more things, we're looking at superlatives and superlative adjectives. Right? And this is really useful when we're talking about our hometown or movies or books we've read, talking about the most, the biggest, the best, the largest, right? Again, the grammar you can get in the PDF, but very briefly, with adjectives of one syllable or two, we would say the adjective est, the nicest, the biggest, the longest, right? Do be aware, some adjectives are irregular, right? Good, the best, bad, the worst. And then with adjectives which are longer, like three or more syllables, usually beautiful, we say the most beautiful, the most economical, remember the most attractive. Here, to emphasize, we can use by far, right? This university is by far the biggest in Europe, right? For example. Okay, great. So let's see in part one questions where we could use these. As I mentioned, hometowns are a great opportunity. Tell me about your hometown. Now, some of the answers here are getting longer and longer. I'm going to push you a little bit to try and sustain intonation over longer phrases. It's a key part of a band 7 and band 8. So let's see if we can extend your intonation over longer phrases. If it's difficult, pause, stop the video and break it down and do it bit by bit. But let's try. Okay, first of all, tell me about your hometown. And remember here, by the way, just repeat with me. You can practice for your own situation in a few moments, right? So tell me about your hometown. Well, I come from Manchester, which is up in the north of England. D, 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 D. Well, I come from Manchester, which is up in the north of England. It's one of the most beautiful cities in England. D, 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 D. It's one of the most beautiful cities in England. Great, that's fine. Now, practice yourself. Tell me about your hometown. Nice. Okay, next question. Again, repeat with me. What do tourists like to visit in your hometown? Many tourists will go to Manchester United's football ground. D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D. Many tourists will go to Manchester United's football ground. Because it's one of the most famous grounds in the world. Because it's one of the most famous grounds in the world. Great, all together. Many tourists will go to Manchester United's football ground because it's one of the most famous grounds in the world. Very nice. Good. If you're a Manchester City fan, I apologise, but that's also a very famous ground and one of the most famous in the world too. Okay, next question. What do people in your country like to do in parks and gardens? Well, one of the most popular pastimes is sunbathing. D. D D D D D D D D D D D D D. Well, one of the most popular pastimes is sunbathing. If the weather is sunny, D D D D D D D. If the weather is sunny. Otherwise, many people will just go for a stroll to get some fresh air. D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D D. Otherwise, many people will just go for a stroll to get some fresh air. Great. All together? Well, one of the most popular pastimes is sunbathing. If the weather is sunny, otherwise many people will just go for a stroll to get some fresh air. Nice. Now, this is really pushing you, I think, to try and maintain that intonation over longer phrases. It's really important for the higher levels. It helps to feel the rhythm, the dum da da dum da da dum. Otherwise, many people will just go for a stroll to get some fresh air. The da 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 da. It's the word stress. Actually, we call it the sentence stress. The words that you stress in the sentence really help you feel that rhythm. Right. If this was difficult, go back and practice it again for the longer phrases. Okay. That's it for superlatives.